Hi everyone, I'm your host, wellness dietitian and biohacking investigator Jasmine El-Nabli. Welcome to the BioHack podcast, a show where in each episode you'll hear from myself as well as leading health professionals and biohackers who believe that through lifestyle and dietary changes, we can transform ourselves into healthier, more energetic, and optimally performing versions of ourselves. The future is hacked. Coming up on this episode of the BioHack, we have Dr. Tyler Meier from CorePosture Chiropractic, Orange County's premier pain relief and spinal structural rehab facility. Field, but because of his process. Excuse you. I chose to see Dr. Tyler not only because he is a leader and expert in his field, but because of his process. He is methodical, specific, and detailed in his approach to optimize spinal health, focusing on your specific lifestyle factors and utilizing techniques such as adjustments, traction, and cutting-edge technology to personalize your care. But before we get down to it, let's get to know Dr. Tyler a little bit better, rapid-fire style. So, Dr. Tyler, you have 90 seconds to answer 10 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's get the timer going. 90 seconds on the clock. So what does your morning routine look like?
Well, I like to get up and first start my day off by exercising. You know, if you don't move it, you lose it. So I like to get up, get moving, get my blood going, and then from there I'll have a nice healthy breakfast full of healthy fats, so eggs, avocados, my bulletproof coffee.
Favorite podcast?
I'm huge into performance, so I always want to live a higher performing life, live my best life that I possibly can. So I follow Dave Asprey on the Bulletproof Radio, and I also like Peter Attia with on the Drive Radio. He's always bringing on leaders in the field and really hacking their performance and being better.
Yeah, I love that podcast. What's your favorite health food?
Favorite health food? Eggs and avocados. I'm a huge fan of guacamole. Grew up on Avocado Grove, so.
Favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Going to the beach, whether it's surfing, just going for a walk with my dog and my fiance. I love going to the beach.
Cat or dog person? Dog person.
I'm partial to dogs. I do have a cat, and I do love my cat too, but definitely a dog person. We bring Addie into the office. She's here on Fridays, so it's great to have her join us as well.
So is chiropractic care age specific?
It's not. The best time to get adjusted or the best time to get your spine checked is now. You know, our youngest patient right now is 2 years old that's doing spinal traction, and our oldest is 90.
Wow, so the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Any risks associated with chiropractic care?
As with anything you do, there are risks. The risks are generally very low, so it is very important to make sure that you do check out who your chiropractor is and know who you're seeing.
All right, so we're over time, but we're just gonna keep it going because we gotta get to know Dr. Tyler. Is it safe to get chiropractic care without an x-ray?
Because the risks are generally pretty low, I would say it's definitely probably safe to get chiropractic care without an x-ray. However, if we can't see what's the problem, we can't really determine what's causing your underlying condition or the structure of your spine. How do we know that we're getting you the best care or that we're actually fixing that problem?
Is it bad to crack your own neck?
Yes, don't do it.
Oh, guilty. Do you yourself biohack?
I do. I always want to be better and higher performing, so biohacking.
Rapid fire. Coming up next, we're gonna dive in. We're talking why did Dr. Tyler need to get involved with chiro care, how it's fundamental to healthy living, when you should do it, and where it's all going. See you on the next one. So I know what you're thinking. What the heck is biohacking? Well, simply put, biohacking is cracking the code of your own body for better performance. It involves taking a closer look at your body type, your eating habits, and your lifestyle, and making changes to biologically enhance your quality of life, health, energy, and performance. Biohacking can involve expensive and experimental gadgets, or it can be as simple as making changes to the way you live your life. And this is where Dr. Tyler comes in. All right, so we just got to know Dr. Tyler a little bit better. So now we're going to dive into why you should get chiropractic care, how it's fundamental to healthy living, when you should do it, where it's all going. So let's start with question number 1. Why did you get involved with chiropractic care?
Well, growing up, I went to UCSD originally thinking I was going to do medical school. That was my intention while I was there. And really, whether it was the time in my life or just realizing that wasn't really my passion at that point, I started to stray away from that goal. I was looking into working research, but I also found out research wasn't really paying very well. The hours weren't very great, and I actually ended up working at the Apple Store. And so I was working at the Apple Store trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. And while I was there, and this is postgraduate too, so trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I thought, well, the next step is probably do a master's program or do a PhD of something, and I liked microbiology. I was, a big research person, and so while I was working at the Apple Store, I still remember there was this one day, this guy comes in, I'm selling him an iPhone, and we're talking about his juice smoothie that he has, and I was talking about what I wanted to do with my life. He was asking me questions, and I remember him asking me, have you ever thought about being a chiropractor? And I never thought such a simple question would be so powerful in my life. He gave me his business card and said, hey, if you want to check out what we do, come shadow me, just send me an email, whatever, and we'll link up. And for some reason I went home that night and I felt this need to send him an email. Emailed the guy, went to shadow him, and it was really cool because he taught me that our body really is a self-healing organism, and that, just as long as the body has, full function, full performance of your nervous system, you can heal and you can improve your health. And that's really what chiropractic does. And so I was seeing these kids get adjusted, which I thought was crazy. So we're seeing kids get healthy, we're seeing parents get better, and whole families just being healthy and vibrant. And so I wanted to do that. I went to a career night, and from there it was all history. I became a chiropractor, and here I am today.
Wow, so that one question just changed the whole trajectory.
It's pretty cool.
Of your life. That's awesome. You never know who's going to come into your life and change everything.
Yeah.
So what do you and what do chiropractors aim to achieve with going through spinal care and doing chiropractic care?
As a chiropractor, my number one goal is to really optimize your health and optimize your performance. And we really do that through optimizing your nervous system by looking at your spine, because we know that your spine plays a role in how your nervous system functions. And when we're looking at, the nervous system coming down from the brain sends signals, sends energy to all of your vital organs, your muscles, your tissues, and it helps you coordinate all those different organs to keep you alive, keep you healthy. And we know that if there are any imbalances in your system, whether that's from misalignments in the spine, putting stresses or pressure on the spinal cord, it can affect your overall health. And we know that better posture does lead to better health outcomes, higher quality of life outcomes as well. So you can really say better posture does equal better health.
So you really are taking it from a whole body approach. It's not just the spine, it's just not your neck. It's really impacting every part of your body.
Yeah, many people do come in with, we start talking about pain for the most part. That's when people start to make a decision to change. But usually pain is more of a warning signal or a light going off saying, hey, look, something's going wrong, fix me. Whereas there probably was something there even earlier.
So how is chiropractic care a form of biohacking?
Well, you could even say it was one of the original ways that we biohacked. I would say probably one of the first things that humans evolved to biohack was probably exercise, where we get stronger and hack our performance. But in with that, we have ancient forms of bone setters being, recorded in the literature as well. So we know chiropractic has been around for a long time, but really chiropractic does help us balance our stress levels. So one of the biggest killers is chronic stress. It leads to all these different dysfunctions. And we have these parasympathetic and sympathetic systems in our body that are always in flux. And I would say most people tend to run in a higher sympathetic system, which is that chronic stress environment. And chiropractic really does help to balance those systems out, helping to relieve a lot of the stress, tension in the body and in the nervous system so that you can function and really perform better.
What makes CorePosture Chiropractic unique in its process and services?
Well, what we do is very unique and very different, even when we compare it to most chiropractic offices, in that we do specialize in posture and spinal correction. And we really utilize the latest in science and research to help us get us the best results. And so each patient comes in, we really do create an individualized approach. We're not your rack and crack chiropractor, where we actually focus on what is the condition and how do we best treat that condition. And we utilize x-rays both in the beginning and then actually post-care too. And we can show follow-up x-rays and show exactly how much change we made, where was that change made, and really document and show those results too.
When is the best time in the lifespan to see a chiropractor?
The best time is now. One of the first traumas that can happen in life is actually birth. Birth can be a very traumatic event, and it can have a lot of damage that can happen to your upper cervical or even your neck, the ligaments there. So it really is important to get checked as early as possible. Babies do get adjusted, and it's not my specialty, but there are chiropractors out there that specialize in adjusting babies. Other than that, as we grow up, we go through all these different phases of life where we're trying to walk, we're trying to learn to snowboard, we're all doing all these things that we're tripping, falling, and causing these injuries to the spine. And sometimes there's these major traumas that, we know exactly where that injury came from. But a lot of times people come in and they have no idea where, why their spine looks the way it does. And so it's these little micro traumas that accumulate over the years, and you get this accumulation effect where your body heals, but only so much. There's limitations to that. And so the earlier you get those checked out, the better corrections we can make. Because when we look at the spine, different ages of different spines make it tougher to change. So the earlier you get checked out, the less treatment you need, the faster response you get, and that's when we'll start to see the best changes.
And that's kind of the case for me. I mean, as a bodybuilder, doing wear and tear on my body all the time, and now kind of feeling those effects of having some lower back pain or neck pain. So coming here and just like getting that chiropractic care going has been very integral in my own personal life. So it's been very helpful. And why do chiropractors require so many visits? I know that there's some places where you can just go in, get an adjustment and leave, only come to find that you may be in more pain or it didn't really help. So how many sessions does it really take to make that impact, that lasting impact?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I mean, it really depends on what are you focusing on. If you go into a place, let's say, for example, a very well-known place, Joint, and you go in, you do get your chiropractic care there, and you get a few adjustments. Most of the time, they are focusing on your pain. And pain, like we said earlier, is a warning signal that something is going wrong in the body. But it's one of those last things to show up. So there's probably something else at a deeper level going on. And so, when we look at the x-rays and we actually can determine what is the condition of the spine, is there a spot where there's a misalignment or a kyphotic segment in your neck that is really causing the problem that you're having, covering it up by getting adjusted is almost similar to, I would say, taking some sort of medication, anti-inflammatory, that makes you feel better temporarily, but doesn't really fix that underlying condition.
Putting a Band-Aid on it.
Exactly. So when we're looking at our x-rays, we want to know exactly how much change can we get in the spine. If you've had these issues possibly since birth, possibly since childhood, or 10 years even, is something like a 3-month program, is that really huge in the long term of things, where it may take a little bit longer to make those corrections. And it's very similar to if you go to your orthodontist or if you exercise on a regular basis. You can't really expect to see big changes if you exercise once every other week or once a month. It takes consistency to really get those overall lasting results that we want to see and make a big correction in your spine.
Just like eating healthy. One meal isn't going to make you healthy, and one unhealthy meal isn't going to make you unhealthy. It's that consistency factor.
100%.
What is the new and leading research telling us about spinal care and the nervous system and our overall health when it comes to chiropractic?
There's a lot of new cool research that is coming out right now, and I'm actually excited to share one thing I learned just a few weeks ago at one of the conferences I went to. But Chiropractic BioPhysics itself is just pumping out new research every day. And one of their latest research projects that's actually just been accepted, so it's not even published yet, but they're showing how when you correct the spine by inducing more curvature into the neck, reducing forward head posture, they'll actually show an improvement in your sympathetic skin response resistance. And so with that really is showing that your autonomic nervous system is functioning better when you have better alignment. So we're showing those outcomes are directly correlated to your overall, stress response. So that's a really cool new one that just came out. Another one that was published a few years ago as well, very similar. We're looking at the neck again, restoring the curvature of the neck, restoring the forward head posture. We actually show that again starts to change the velocity of the nerves, the amplitude of the nerve conduction, and also reducing latency as well, which just means faster nerve performance. So again, it's like another form of biohacking. We're really upping our performance and improving the performance of the individual. And then lastly, another really cool one, again, we're focusing on the neck, I guess, today, but they actually took patients that had, again, forward head posture, loss of neck curvature, and they did an MRI study, and this one's very unique. It's done by, his name's Evan Katz out of Colorado. He's a chiropractor there. And they did the study on the brain. They checked out the cerebral blood flow to the brain and just got a baseline of these individuals. They then added what's called a cervical dental, or it's a cervical orthotic that helps us remodel the spine. And they had them place that into their neck. They had them lay back down, go through the MRI again, and on average, it increased the blood flow to the brain by up to 200%.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible. And what does that mean? There's not enough research yet to really show, what does that mean long term? Mm-hmm. But we do know that some of the initial things that we do see that come out of neurodegenerative diseases is lack of blood flow to the brain. So this could have an effect possibly on some Alzheimer's patients, or maybe, future down the line type stuff, where Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, all of those could be impacted by people's posture and health.
Kind of goes along the lines with my next question. So where do you see chiropractic care in the next 5 years? So kind of in this near future.
I really see the research improving. Every year the research base has just been growing and growing. So I do think that as more research comes out, we will have a better understanding of how our posture and spine does affect our health. And I do see people utilizing chiropractic care, the utilization rate going higher, and really referring to us first before they go to see, let's say, their medical doctor and then find out they need a prescription. Maybe we can actually treat those people conservatively, or they need surgery or something like that. Maybe we can actually treat those people conservatively and get them better results without having to go that route. So I do see us as starting to really take on and become the leaders of spinal healthcare.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm
Very
excited.
exciting field to be in right now, for sure. Thank you for joining me on the BioHack podcast, episode 1. So where can our listeners find you?
You can find us on our website. It's CorePosture.com. We're also on Instagram at CorePosture. Follow us there. We upload lots of great content on how to improve your spine, a bunch of cool stuff we're doing in the office, so definitely follow us on there. And lastly, we're located in Newport Beach, so if you'd like to schedule an appointment to come see us, you can check us out on our website again. We have appointment times available on there.
Highly, highly recommend. I go to Dr. Tyler myself and have had vast improvement in neck pain, lower back pain, just implementing adjustments, traction, all of that. It will be linked in the show notes, so you go take a peek, follow him on Instagram, and get your neck in check.
Let's do it.